Rah. Ooh.
At Crab Gaming 0 says, Yo WSP, you're on my TG.
Wowie.
At Crab Gaming 0 says, TV.
About a thumbtillion.
What is that? Alright, let's play Block
At
You Rage Viper.
ZGuyVR says, Yo. At PogTaylor5918 says, Yo. At ZGuyVR says, I see you all over Beat Leader.
Wowie.
Kinda odd.
Dude, my hands
At
are not warmed up for
ZGuyVR
this.
says, I really admire your skill that I don't have.
Interesting.
Why isn't it working?
Oh my gosh.
Kinda odd.
Why isn't it working?
Okay, okay, yeah, I'm muting you. You're muted.
Wowie. Maybe I could number one.
At PogTaylor5918 says, LOL.
Kinda odd.
At ZGuyVR says, I have only 40 hours in Beat Saber, I suck.
Why isn't it working?
Oh my gosh. Ouch.
At Nightbot says,
Dude,
at
I hate this.
PogTaylor5918 the bot commands for this channel are available at
Oh my gosh.
https://nightbot.tv/y/%40 vortexwizard/commands. At HotKakagaming YT says, hi.
Hello.
Why isn't it working?
At ZGuyVR says, my average accuracy is a measly 90%.
We'll come back to that.
At PogTaylor5918 says, hello person turquoise waving. At Kinifan316 says, hola, solo
Why am I
hablo
so
español ahora mismo, estoy haciendo mis lecciones de inglés. At the V Crew says, you sorry I'm late.
It's all good.
Streaming. I love you so much that it's dripping, dripping from my heart and such. I'm sorry, I know I'm too much to love to trust. I'm
At Crab Gaming 0 says, can you play 3534F? It's kinda hard.
I'll see. I still need to finish my new map.
At Larinu Edit says, unhappy please.
Streaming, but it's really kind of misery. The kind where you were nice to me, but only in the evenings. All I ask you night just dreaming.
At Irish_Yum_Alvarp
This
says,
stupid song is stuck in my head.
At Larinu Edit says, unhappy please. At ZGuyBR says, any tips on how to improve stamina without dying? 5 notes per second songs leave me sweaty and winded. At Irish_Yum_Alvarp says, do Phantom it's good trust.
Ooh, don't swing too hard. You do not need to swing that hard and be safe.
At PogTaylor5918 says, yes. At Pedro67 So Cayman How says, penguin blue waving tear. At Larino Edit says, at the speed of light please. At Skibadiu2E says, let the world burn do it. At Playzoni_glitch says, hello.
Hello. How are you? Is it at the speed of light? I got you. What is this one?
At Larino Edit says, at the speed of light please. At Irish_Yum_Alvarp says, do Phantom. At GoSubAlgaming says, raw. At AlexWorld17 says, raw. At PibbleLoveSwing says,
Dude, I'm like
oh,
extremely washed it.
At HusmitFrost777 says, do 67 mango yada yada Tupfin. At GamerBoy123450 says, At ZGuyBR says, my best run of Final Boss Chan on Expert was a 71%. I'm a bit embarrassed. At Playzoni_glitch says, bro, do you like Messi or Ronaldo? PLS tell me. At Irish_Yum_Alvarp says, how the hell are you so good?
Practice.
At 303 Entity 303 says, At PogTaylor5918 says, W.
Yo, why this song
At
kind of song familiar?
says, yo, I've been playing for 7 months and got a 400 pp play yesterday. Am I good for the time I've been playing or no? At Crab Gaming 0 says,
Dude, my act is so bad.
in the USA I think. At SGCC128 says, can you maybe play Flame Wall after this?
Okay.
At Jahir says, ASD. At Larino
Dude, my
says,
hack is like
"The
actually
song
so
is my
bad.
fave." At Irish_Yum_Alvarp says, after Do Phantom. At Canonandi5232 says, PLS Do Poster Boy PLS. At 303 Entity 303 says, brother, I can't even complete the Master 2 on Expert. At Playzoni_glitch says, bro, do you play Gorilla Tag on URVR?
Nah.
Tell. At PibbleLoveSwing says, are you taking song requests RN?
Yeah.
At Playzoni_glitch says, you are so lucky to have VR.
That is the worst voice crack ever.
Edit says, sums up
Grr.
Cortex. At Yatro5110 says, my neck hurts. At Crab Gaming 0 says, 3534F. At Diagomeza N5W says, hola. At Canonandi5232 says, can you do please Poster Boy? At SGCC128 says, try to guess the name of the level in GD based on this song.
Tidal wave.
At ZGuyBR says, You are nowhere near bad, my man. If you think you're bad, then knowing I average about 1k on the leaderboard. At Crab Gaming 0 says, you only have to say it once. At CanonNandi5232 says, damn, you're good. At PlayZoni_glitch says, bro, play Minecraft in VR, it is super cool, and also in Roblox, just try it out.
What?
At SGCC128 says, Bloodbath. At Fossil1 says, Cataclysm.
There's Roblox in Minecraft.
At 5918 says, Slay I.
Let's win. Guys, what would happen if they made Roblox and Minecraft? Would we all move to there?
At __35 says, Bloodlust. At PlayZoni_glitch says, yay. At Larinu edits says, Geodash. At Fossil1 says, plus Bloodbath plus Bloodlust. At Lofameat says, Holy GD reference.
Wally.
At CanonNandi5232
Yeah, I was
says,
not saying good going.
POV geometry -- be like.
Said flame
At
wall.
Crab Gaming 0 says, I don't know. At ZGuyVR says, my accuracy is very bad on fast songs. At Irish_Yamalverf says, now do Phantom. At PibbleLoveswing says, can you do Poster Boy map by Raged? It's a really good ACC linear map, it's so fun, you might get a good score on it. At __35 says, yeah. At
Oh my god. Dude, I am not on it there.
Sakupen circles. At PlayZoni_glitch says, it's actually there, just play bro. At Crab Gaming 0 says, 3534F. At CanonNandi5232 says, Poster Boy PLS after that. At Irish_Yamalverf says, bro after do Phantom. At Larinu edits says, 8 minutes of hell. At Thomas Gaspani says, you're just increasable, that's so hard to do what you're doing. At Lofamead says, absolute cinnamon. At Pix3L_.
Dude, I'm so. What happened?
Song. At MattyXPWabo says, I'm sure no one will read this comment, so I'll say that I'm gay. At Zagridyakalitanggome9902 says, circles. At __35 says, let's cook this game. At PogTaylor5918 says, go Vortex go. At PlayZoni_glitch says, bro, which do you like most, Minecraft or Roblox? At CanonNandi5232
Minecraft.
says, go, I believe you. At SGCC128 says, Camellia is so cute.
I have not played Roblox in like,
one says, asterisk backslash.
I don't know, like 2 years.
316 says, T.E. Amo, Aries Can Bueno en el Juego, laughing face. At Min1 says, plain wall. Holy GD reference. At
I think I'm singing too much with my arm again.
Says, you like MJ. At Larino edit says, you nuke powder next. At Irish_Yamalverf says, you can't play Minecraft on VR. At Lofamead says, how about nuke powder? At CanonNandi5232 says, how are you so good? At
Oh boy.
Gaming 0 says, after this can you please do 3534F please? At Pix3L_GD says, Ellipse, power sound, dubstep, if it's on Beat Saber. At Larinu edit says, nuke powder next please. At Susie Vodka says, can you do GHHS? At Yankee Lover 99 Judge says, list wireless for 8T. At J.A. Bartle says, as a GD player TS is the most peachy I've ever seen or heard. At Irish_Yamalverf says, next do Phantom.
What's my score on this?
At CanonNandi5232 says, can you do Poster Boy? At PogTaylor5918 says, Miss Vortex. At Pix3L_GD says, the fact that the chat is being read while the song is going must be so hard to concentrate, loudly crying face. At Lofamead says, nobody will read this, my mom actually isn't a woman. At Zagridyakalitanggome9902 says, Iron God, Sikupen Hell Yes RMX. At Lucas Youth says, hot. At Larino Edit says, WTF. At Snail397 says, God dang bro you are insanely good. At Daphne Andre W2J says, wow. At NymCupid4 says, how many stars is this map?
Like 12.
At Canonandi5232 says, can you do Poster Boy after this song? At Pix3L_GD says, Godspeed Spider-Man. At Larino Edit says, 10. At Lope Mead says, all for 10 stars BPW.
Oh my gosh, I was not paying attention.
At Daphne Andre W2J says, 10,000,000,000.
Oh, there goes my score.
0,000,000/10.
I look like an ag up.
At Pix3L_GD says, Ellipse, Power Sound, Dubstep, if it's on Beat Saber please. At J.A. Barkel says, 99%. At Irish_Numalbert says, do Phantom next. At Susie Vodka says, I've seen this guy on leaderboards, I didn't think he had a channel. At J.A. Barkel says, only straight block. At DankImStanky5020 says, now do Flame Wall on OSU. At Pix3L_GD says, beat Final Scratch. At Canonandi5232 says, can you do Poster Boy after PLS? At Snail397 says, what's your favorite song?
Oh no. Right controller battery low. Oh no. It's at 10%. Loki, we might be cooked.
At Victoria Jones 8549 says, locked in moment. At Pix3L_GD says, you can beat it. At Lote Mead says, I saw you yesterday on YouTube. Didn't really bother watching, now I regret not watching. At Canonandi5232 says, oh no. At J.A. Barkel says, Nehesta JR. At Zagride Gome 9902 says, Iron God, Sikupen Hell Yes RMX. At Victoria Jones 8549 says, Holy Newsflash. At Kai_approach says, W Flame Wall.
Dude, my shoulders are on fire.
At Kai_approach says, lock in. At Lope Mead says, 1 minute left till you're done with it, locking gang. At Padago says, flame wall. At Pix3L_GD says, my arms would literally be on fire playing this. At Arthur_Morgan 1899 WWW says, flame wall beat saber. At Homeosaga says, do I want to be a machine? At J.A. Barkel says, my arms would fall off. At Canonandi5232 says, PLS do Poster Boy how long is the song you're playing? At Pix3L_GD says, the finally. At Irish_Yamalvrf says, now do Phantom.
Gosh.
At Pix3L_GD says, Ellipse, Power Sound, Dubstep, if it's on Beat Saber please. At Larino Edits says, can you do Nuke Powder next please? At Irish_Yamalvrf says, Phantom. At Lope Meat says, oh yeah. At Snail397 says, bro W. I don't know how you be doing this. You just got a new sub. At Homeosaga says, do the one that goes I want to be a machine. At SGCC128 says, what is your place on the global leaderboard? At Canonandi5232 says,
top 50
Poster Boy PLS. At Arthur
Dude, my back hurts from yesterday. I was playing a Cardo
WWW
dance.
says, GG.
Dying.
At Kai_Cockroach says, if this guy played OSU he's be the #1 player in 2 hours. At Irish
I don't think that's how that works.
Yamalvrf says, PLS Phantom.
No,
At
thank you.
Irish_Yamalvrf says, bruh. At Lope Mead says, Can you do Nuke Powder 2 by Malux after this? Please.
Maybe.
At Pix3L_GD says, this song is the song I'm using on a geometry dash level I'm making.
Bobby. Dude, these lights look sick.
At Laranu Edits says, Nuke Powder please. At Kai_Cockroach says, I'd probably fall over cause of how trippy it looks loudly crying face.
Yeah, it does look kind of
Michelle
trippy.
Balance 7721 says, OMG I installed
Dude, like everything's
these
moving.
They are the coolest thing. At Lope Mead says,
Oh, but
you have earned yourself a sub. You now may get a pat on the back.
Bobby. Dude, this is so trippy. Why are there so many dot nodes?
L_GD says, just wait until you get to the drop. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, what are your presets for resavers?
VW_Collider.
This is Power Sound.
At Kai_Cockroach says, SM1 give TS guy a yo-yo he could do Godspeed in 20 minutes. At Laranu Edits says, holy GD reference. At Laranu Edits says, ultraviolence.
What was that?
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, what is your hardest pass? At
I don't know.
Kai_Cockroach says, make him do stalemate. At Kai_Cockroach says, trust. At Broadatic2423 says, I don't know if this is the drop. At Kai_Cockroach says, grief. At Lope Need says, close to the drop y'all. At Canonandi5232 says, PLS do power of the saber blade. At Laranu Edits says, Nuke Powder PLS. At Kai_Cockroach says, TS is the drop. At TomNorman3732 says, dude I've always wanted to play this but we had my dad's works VR and he took it back because we weren't taking care of it properly.
Dang.
At Broadatic2423 says, this is the drop. At Kai_Cockroach says, this is the drop lock-in. At Bentliver says, go trophy.
It's no
At Laranu Edits says, Nuke Powder next please.
Nice little backup.
At Kai_Cockroach says, someone just sent a gold trophy.
Bobby. That's fire.
At Nin_JA_GTR says, goo. At Playzoni_Glitch says, am back I went to have my food.
I don't know if this is gonna be number one.
At
Okay,
Kai
it is.
underscore cockroach says,
Dude, that act difference
can
is
I
crazy.
annoy you and do something?
Nah.
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, what yo have? At Laranu Edits says, nuke powder. At Sigridyak Elintang Gome 9902 says, Iron God, Sakupen Hell Yes RMX. At Drum K1NG294 says, talk to US next please pleading face.
Stay on me. Interesting.
At Kai
We need
underscore
khaki
cockroach
pins now.
says, I'm gonna annoy you LOL.
Ah.
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, unwelcome school. At Pix3L underscore GD says, at the speed of light by Dim Rain 47. At TNT2S3Z says, Simpsons did it. At Bentliver
Did what?
says,
Did it at the bar
do
top?
power of the saber blade. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says, BTW who do you like Michael Jackson or Billie Eilish? At TNT2S3Z says, Simpsons did it.
Not really
At
comparable.
Michelle Balance 7721 says, unwelcome school PLZZZ unwelcome school PLZZZ. At Kai underscore cockroach says, it didn't work.
Dude, I might be able to read my
X3L
score on
underscore
this.
GD says, grief song.
Oh boy. Never mind. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
At Kai underscore cockroach says, he's gonna get to Taco's trust. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says, bro play Roblox PLS in next stream. At Kominik Zanbrina says, Dutch was. At TNT2S3Z says, Simpsons did it. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says, but in VR it will be so good.
Yeah, I was just gonna try the challenge version.
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, I farted and it stinks. At Blueboy65 says, 97.99. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says, once you play it is going to be so good.
Okay.
At TNT2S3Z says, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it,
Hey, what is
Simpsons
it?
did it,
Your remix?
Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it,
Why are we
Simpsons did
spamming?
it. At Laranu Edits says, tacos. At Kai underscore cockroach says, he's at Taco.
Okay, there's probably gonna be like
Oklahoma.
tech or something.
At Michelle Balance 7721
This
says,
better be tech.
unwelcome school PLZZZ. At Ronan Plays 111 says, what rec room game is this? At
I wonder.
3L underscore GD says, at the speed of light by Dim Rain 47 please. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says, will you play?
Those are cool walls.
At Laranu Edits says, he did it.
Oh my gosh.
At
Oh my
PNAP21
god.
says, Wizard I saw you in a live stream yesterday. At Roblox JL256 says, holy
Dude, I
GG
cannot
reference.
see that.
At Laranu Edits says, I requested this. At Kai underscore cockroach says, man in suit levitating.
Dude, can we
man
not
in suit
spam,
levitating,
please?
Man in suit levit. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says, PLS I want to watch it. At Joyobs says, what is this? At Michelle Balance 7721
Oh boy.
says, play Gorilla Tag. At Kai underscore cockroach says, okay. At Laranu Edits says, stalemate. At Kai underscore cockroach says, okay. At Pix3L underscore GD says, WTF. At
Dude, I
Cesar
kinda wanna try and
Sarkasson K
pass this.
says, oh my god is grief. At PlayZoni underscore glitch says,
I
and in
cannot
after
see.
Roblox PLS do Minecraft. At blueboy65 says, he's at Triplash. At Joyov says, has someone passed this yet?
Maybe.
At Michelle
Honestly,
Balance
not that hard. You just gotta read it.
7721 says, if you play Unwelcome School I donate 20. At TB90 says, do Slaughterhouse next. At Brubra1002 says, yo the stream above is playing Grief on GDIJS, scroll down to 2 in a row YOOO.
Wow.
At Miles Peace says, GD reference. At Laranu Edits says, you mean lost? At Brubra1002 says, nah agreed.
Dude, I cannot read that.
At Brubra1002 says, grief I'm an ad.
Okay, this one's pretty easy because it's not like super flat.
Says,
You just gotta
donated $20
it's like a low reaction
play
time.
Unwelcome School. At Blueboy65 says, greater. At Playzoni_glitch says, bro play Gorilla Tag. At
What is that?
Blueboy65 says, tacos. At Laranu Edits says, above me is a guy for new hardest artificially sent. At Laranu Edits says, go. At Mimisptigan says, bro is
there like
verifying grief.
Oh, there's a
Before
different. That's literally just
At
practice.
Laranu
Yeah, everybody
Edits says,
passes
go.
that.
At TB90 Butter says, please do Slaughterhouse.
Hold on, I want to see. I want to see if I can pass this.
_GD says, at the speed of light by Dim Rain 47 please. At Brubra1002 says, Uncle doesn't know what Gorilla Tag is. At Laranu Edits says, nuke powder. At Miles Peace says, at the speed of light yes. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, play in hell. At Iden Dash says, we need more GD songs. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, play in hell. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, play in hell. At Inflippinj says, dude, you're the best. At Laren
Yeah, look, this map is not that hard. It's just the visuals.
Powder next please. At Laranu Edits says, nuke powder next please. At Playzoni_glitch
I could
says,
probably pass
bro if
the
you
other
play
bit.
Gorilla
I've
Tag
seen my
now I
mind.
will subscribe. At Harvey28 says, bro is play Grief new top 1. At Twitching Samurai Official says, Omicron W Omicron Upsilon Omicron? Omicron Kappa W Omicron Upsilon. Omicron M Omicron.
Can we stop spamming,
Omicron, Upsilon Kappa Omicron W Omicron Upsilon Kappa Omicron Upsilon. At Pix3L_GD says, all of the GD players here have ball knowledge. At Miles Peace says, society is top 1. At Inflippinj says, well, if I ever tried, I would suck. At TB90 Butter says, Amethyst Rikosh. At Clean_Sailorbs says, I ran. At Clean_Sailorbs says, raw.
Rah.
At Kharvey28 says, can we stop spamming random AHH stuff? At Iden Dash says, PLS Animation Warrior theme by Nighthawk22. At Brubra1002 says, Grief is said to be the new top 1 because Doggy is verifying it and Society was already verified by I think a Popov. At Bella Stelter says, how hard is that? At Miles Peace says,
I don't know.
Amethyst is mad. At Playzoni_glitch says, bro you want one more subscriber but I condition. At M.Canadians NHL fan 992 says, hey Vortex how are you doing today?
Doing alright.
At Miles Peace says, tidal wave is where it's at. At MICR_G says, yo what's good? At Clean_Sailorbs says, do 193 CE. At Inflippinj says, face with tears of joy LOL. At Kharvey28 says,
Okay, I
Yes,
think
Grief
I
is
got it.
getting verified soon, but society got verified by Opapa first. At playzoni_glitch says, if you play gorilla tag now. At milespeace says, society is staying top 1, it's not depended by who's verifying it, it's depended by how hard it is. At pix3l_gd says, gang please do At the Speed of Light by Dimrain 47 please.
Alright, I'll do that after
At
this.
TV Knifey Butter says, Dog Eye has 97% on grief. At Sandra Thulawistant Majawara says, Holy GD reference song. At D3STR0 Yerbos says, how do you get geometry dash songs in Beat Saber? At Harvey28 says, grief is harder bruv. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, play and helv. At clean_sailorbs says,
Okay, I think I know what to
Beat
do to
Saber
practice
at
this. Just turn this down
D3STR0
like,
Yerbos.
turn this down
At
like
Miles
300.
Peace says, then why it ain't top 1 Harvey. At D3STR0 Yerbos says, THX.
Guys, we will pass this map.
At Sandra Thulawistant Majawara says, Wallahi TSOP. At Iden Dash says, Pix 3LW Bloodbath reference. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, how do you get TDS? At clean_sailorbs says, lock in. At cowboy_squirrel says, guys he will pass this map. At Harvey28 says, cause it's not verified yet, it will be verified and rated RLY fast cause doggy is getting roped off to rate it immediately. At Pix3L_GD says, hell yeah.
Okay, I'll give it one more shot. And then no.
At Murica's favorite Eagle 23 says, al.
I think this map might be
At
easier with lower
Kalibashapsha
jumps.
says, peak game. At Harvey28 says, one more chance than At the Speed of Light PLS. At Miles
Alright.
Peace says, Harvey do you even know GD? It is verified. At Miles Peace says, rated I meant. At Harvey28 says, what is verified? At Pix3L_GD says, At the Speed of Light by Dimrain 47.
Oh my gosh, I can know.
At Murica's favorite Eagle 23 says, Geometry Saber smiling face with hearts. At Iden Dash says, yes at Soul. At Keon Haddon
I'll
says,
try a different one.
well if isn't another YouTuber playing a cool game, here's a cookie, smiley face, cookie.
Wowie. Fire. Alright, let's try this.
At Harvey28 says, I have beaten 4 hard demons, I'm pretty good. At Saron Samurei says, crack. At 67 at 999 says,
Where's that one guy that was gonna give me $20 to play on Welcome School?
At
Where's this scammer?
says, are you on quest
Or
for
just
Val?
disappeared. I'm on quest 3.
At Miles Peace says, I have 100% on Bloodbath. At Harvey28 says, that's cool. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, here.
Dude, what was that? Was that actually a reset or is just me being dumb?
At Harvey28 says, I'm on a journey to beat Bloodbath. At Cowboy_Squirrel says, I haven't even beat the easiest song in Geometry Dash.
Do that, 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 do that.
At the V Crew says,
That was really
I'm
bad.
back.
Welcome back. Where did I miss? I just want to see that part.
At Cowboy_Squirrel says, wise words. At Keon Haddon says, I bet you're on a different planet that we don't know about, you might be on Pluto. not a planet
Okay,
anymore.
I was just really dumb. Okay,
At Andre the Dragon
that's
says,
kind of awkward though.
I can't play because my left hand
But
has
I
a
wanna
big
try,
bruise. I fell from my scooter and my arm hurts up to the shoulder.
What was
At
it?
Mimisptigan says, marry me Vortex. At Alien Dude
Try this
1234 T5C says, face orange raised eyebrow. At Kharvey 28 says, I'm a pro spammer. At
Right.
Iden Dash says, you should do Flow by Creo. At Kharvey 28 says, play Slaughterhouse. At Miles Peace says, Loki Bloodbath looks harder than it really is. Unpopular but Evasium is harder. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, play in hell. At Paradox 2015 says, the part you missed at was the very beginning. At Keon Haddon says, I am surrounded by a bunch of good people. At Cowboy_Squirrel says, best Beat Saber song equals Dom Bubble. At Keon Haddon says, oh this is my fave Sony. At GloriadaRivicky2168 says, Isolation. At Pix3L_GD says, Limbo Song. At Miles Peace says, Slaughterhouse is just screaming New York. At GloriadaRivicky2168 says, Limbo Song is called Isolation BTW.
Dude, what is this part?
At Harvey28 says, Limbo Focus now its memory. At Pix3
I kinda sight read this.
GD says, Thermodynamics by DJ and Next SP. At Keon Haddon says, how many people are here?
I don't know.
Keon Haddon says, face blue smiling. At Miles Peace says, yes. At Alien Dude 1234 T5C says, I've never seen a chat more demanding. At Milk Cookie XD says, yo hi chat. At Cowboy_Squirrel says, walls. At the Golden Doge J7S says, focus focus. At GloriadaRivicky2168 says, focus. At Cowboy_Squirrel says, 27 peoples. At Maryland
I think there's a hard part though.
368 says,
I think there's a hard part.
you play DLC songs like from Monster Cat 2 DLC.
Nah.
At Harvey28 says, the best Beat Saber player is playing RN and it's you. At Iden Dash says, PLS Flow by Creo. At GloriadaRivicky2168 says, Corban Bruh. At the Golden Doge J7S says, 100. At Not Top 10 says, it's blue. At Pix3L_GD says, I have 7 furries in my basement. America eagle 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 eagle. At Not Top 10 says, it's blue. At Clean_Sailor says, bro those inlines are insane. At GloriadaRivicky2168 says, has to read Alec through. At Keon Haddon says, bro is locked in grinning face with big eyes, here's another cookie.
Ouch.
At Milk Cookie XD says, follow the correct key. At
That's kinda crazy, though.
28 says, it's blue it's blue it's blue.
Dude, I'm surprised nobody is playing
Squirrel
this.
says, here comes cute part. At Not Top 10 says,
I know there's
Holy
just
GD reference. At the Golden
Because
Doge
this song.
J7S says, focus come on focus.
oh
At
my
the Golden
god.
Doge J7S says,
What are these
focus.
warpy walls?
At Paradox 2015 says, how can you possibly focus with the text to speech
Oh,
always
oh
talking?
lord, the
At Not
FPS.
Top 10 says, it's gonna be blue LCOK in. At the Golden Doge J7S says, focus. At Miles Peace says, unpopular tidal wave is good. At Aiden Sousa says, focus. At Not Top 10 says, most
Yeah, I cannot
popular
read that.
opinion BTW. At Pix3L_GD says, Thermodynamics by DJ and Next its peak. At Iden Dash says, it's blue. At Gear Crusher 15 says, Limbo Song.
What is this one?
Holy GD.
I don't know if I want to play a
At
radiate
Miles
map.
Peace says, can you try She Ways?
Dude,
At
is that?
Clean_Sailor says, yeah
Dude, there's
you
a
pass.
trench map?
At Milk Cookie XD says, damn. At Not Top 10 says, do Creo Flow. At Andre the Dragon says, do This Isn't Science Rocket the full song not short one. At Gear Crusher 15 says, reference. At Harvey 28 says, do stereo madness. At Gene Harrison 8120 says, that part where the notes were in a row didn't look super hard, you just can't mess up. At Andre the Dragon says, I don't know the song ID. At Not Top 10 says,
Oh boy.
Blow by Creo. At Clean_Sailor says, here's a lollipop. At Not Top 10 says, Blow by Creo. At Keon Hatton says, do a song called I Got No Time. At Pix3L_GD says, Thermodynamics by DJN next its peak. At Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways
Dude, what was that?
PLS. At Iden Dash says, Blow by Creo please PLS please. At Nokia_Official says, yo I'm watching you even though my dad is working.
Crazy.
At says, Holy GD reference. At Gloriadaribiki2168 says, holy timing. At Cowboy_Squirrel says, at this point TDS is gonna get tired. At Miles Peace says, try she ways.
Yeah, probably.
At Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways BIP please brew. At Not Top 10 says, Blow by Creo. At Harvey 28 says, do thermodynamics it's a Kieran. At Michelle Balance 7721
like
says, bro how much money for unwelcome school. At Michelle Balance
You said
7721
$20
says,
bucks.
play
So
in hell.
pay up.
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, play in hell.
Wait, how behind is the chat?
GD says,
I just realized.
Akiran yes. At Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways VIP
Guys, we
please
might
bro.
need to restart.
At Not Top 10 says, Flow by
How do I
Creo.
restart?
At Not Top 10 says, Flow by Creo.
Okay. You said unwelcome school? Yeah, guys, I'm gonna give you GD players a taste of
At Miles
Hard
Peace says,
Maps.
she aways VIP
Even though I
PLS.
literally just played like
At
the
Harvey
challenge map
28
earlier.
says, do nuke powder its peak PLS. At Harvey 28 says, do nuke powder its peak
It's not really a
PLS.
challenge map.
At Not Top 10 says, do Flow by Creo. At Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways VIP please bro. At the one and only Mango Lord says, yo. At Not Top 10 says, Flow by Creo. At Not Top 10 says, yes. At Harvey 28 says, do nuke powder its peak PLS.
I do after this.
At Not Top 10 says, bruh. At Preston Getch LD2B says, hello. At Miles P says, at Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways VIP by Dion Kimmer is very good please next one please. At Right to Beat says, Laughing Disco.
Laughing Disco.
Ivy Dash says, guys stop chatting so much give TDS a break. At the one and only Mango Lord says, is this one of those streams where people can spam their requests as much as they want?
No.
At Preston Getch LD2B says,
Don't time people out.
how are you doing? At Harvey 28 says, Laughing Disco.
Laughing
At
Disco.
Preston Getch LD2B says, you are the GOAT. At Official.Masked Shark says, Yo W Mango. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, I'm sorry my mom said no to the 20 donation.
Ah, dang.
Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways VIP VY.
Still play it.
At 0900 says, only cooking I have it too. At Homie Soccer says, I'm back. At Ivy Dash says, Flow by Creo is peak sonatology or SMPH I don't know it's just good please play it. At Right the Beat says, Laughing Disco. At Gear Crusher 15 says, she aways VIP, Dion Kimmer. At Right the Beat says, LOL. At Preston Getch
was
LD2B
awful.
says, I liked and subbed.
Yo, thanks.
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, Top 10. At Homie Asaga says, can you please do I wanna be a machine? At Rise Off Te Black Dragons Gaming says, Dangig. At It
Challenge
VR0900
version.
says, Holy cooking.
What is this?
At Preston Getch LD2B says, you are the GOAT. At Gear Crusher
There's a
15
cyanide
says,
map.
She
Oh, boy.
Aways by Dion Timmer, please. I'll sub.
Okay, this is
At
probably
Miles
John.
Peace says, yes. At Iden Dash says, She Aways is copyright BTW, I think.
As
At
if I haven't played
Crusher 15
every
says,
copyrighted song ever.
Yes, thank you so much, bro. At HBR0900 says, cooking on this. At Hickory Yamada says, She's IS copyrighted. At Lookgood6021 says, I am 5.5 Subway sandwiches tall. Let that sink in. At Hikaru Yamada says, face orange biting nails. At Miles Peace says, Zoink vibes. At Horror Brothers TW for me says, Holy GD reference.
Dude, how do people pass this? Hold up, we gotta go practice mode.
At Iden Dash says, please flow by Creo.
Dude, I was doing it earlier.
At Michelle Balance
Seeing this earlier.
7721 says, have you played with Tibites?
Who's that?
At Paradox 2015 says, you should try to snipe my score on Dash.
Oh my
I
god!
already sniped yours. At Lookviewed6021
I
says,
don't wanna play that.
easier than the actual GDLVL, BTW.
Hold on, this is going for rank. I need to check this. Wow, I'm very
At
smart.
Iden Dash says, yo guys, WizKid went live on Twitch. At Gear Crusher 15 says, thank you so much Vortex, I legit sub. At unnamed_YouTuber Y3J says, geometry dash reference right arrow heavy large circle. At Miles Peace says, skeletal shenanigans. At Iden Dash says,
Dude,
firework.
This is everywhere.
At Iden Dash says, holy GD ref.
Alright. What now? Ah.
At Crab Gaming 0 says, Vortex, are you going to play the new song?
What new song? Alright.
At FellowKalizer101 says, what sabers are you using? At Michelle Balance
What is this?
7721
Dude, there's a
says,
Remic map.
play
We gotta
in hell,
this one.
play in hell.
Oh my gosh. Holy bitrate. Oh boy.
At Iden Dash says,
I can see everything.
Flame Wall by Camellia, surely right.
I can't see.
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, LOL. At FellowKalizer101 says, what sabers are you using? I didn't hear you.
Resabers.
At
Oh,
Crab
boy.
Gaming 0 says,
Wait, this is Vivify?
on the 30th there's a new song, are you going to play its official BTW?
Maybe.
At Iden Dash says, Dev 1. At FellowKalizer101 says,
Oh
what
my
sabers
gosh, I
in
cannot
recent
see.
3Rs are you using?
Oh, the I think, is it glitched?
At Michelle Balance 7721 says, yes. At JackVR2309
Yo, this
says,
is sick.
what is 9 plus 10? If you get it right I will like and sub. Meme edition.
Dude, this is sick though.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, this is making me sick. At Michelle Balance
gotta reach some.
7721 says, is it a W request? At Iden Dash says, Vortex sort of sounds like Vortrox Hajajaja. At the one and only Mango Lord says, it's making me headache sick. At the one and only Mango Lord says, it probably also doesn't help being in a car.
Oh boy. Dude, I cannot read this. This is beautiful though. Alright.
Stream chat reader disconnected.
Ah, dang it. Oh, time to restart. Yeah, Vivify maps are pretty crazy. Come on.
Live voice initialized.
Oh, yeah. Alright, we're not. Let me see if I can improve this.
727 says, I need to re-listen to the song I think. At Kristinabandel 2231 says, hi. At Iden Dash says, Luster by Camellia. At graze.taka.life.world
I'm kind of bored of
do
like
ego death.
I'm kind of bored of rank right now. I'm just gonna play a harder div some maps.
At Float727 says, Luster is a nice song. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, what about Hyperclocked? At the one and only Mango Lord says, you should do frog on the floor at some point.
Yeah, this map might be a little bit overweight.
At graze.taka.life.world says, Remember me.
Maybe. Okay.
At Vigus1021 says, can you play Running the Show now? I saw the title and you're accepting song requests. At graze.taka.life.world says, clutch. At Kristinabandel 2231 says, you should do the song Misery if you have it.
Okay. Why is Misery so popular?
At Float727 says, these squares are one of the best things that happened to Mugen Beat Saber I think. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, Hyperclocked. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, Hyperclocked. At Bozgulen W8B8L says, Vortex. At Bozgulen W8B8L says, Beat Tella. At Vigus1021 says, running the show after Misery. At XRAIM Games says, you should do Born Slippy by Hecaton Hitters. At Float727 says, the lighting squares. At Mimisptigan says, how do you get better accuracy? At the one and only Mango Lord says, practice. At Bozgulen W8B8L says, Vortex.
Okay, how did I move? Who's that? Do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do-do-do.
I love you so much that it's dripping, dripping from my heart and such. I'm sorry, I know I'm too much. So trust in nothing but
At Float727 says, yeah, I don't know how one programs them though, but I feel like once you learn it makes for fun lighting mapping. At Postulin W8B8L says, number 100 in the world.
Number 100 in the world and what? Playing with
At Iden
playing with
says,
no
please
HUD.
do Matrix, BL Studio Loop. At Vigus1021 says, you have the song Running the Show by Ghostworks in Beat Saber. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, score Saber or Beat Leader.
In the evening, so I asked if I'm just dreaming, but it's really kind of misery, the kind where you were nice to me, but only in the evening, so I asked if I'm just dreaming.
At Kali_I says, in what world do you live in VR? At
What?
Vigus1021 says, bro doesn't listen to me. At the one and only Mango Lord says, what? At Foot727 says, I love somehow overheating under a chill evening breeze. At Correlate says, dark skin tone emoji modifier, 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 dark skin tone.
Dude, why are we
modifier,
spamming?
Dark skin tone emoji modifier, dark skin tone emoji modifier. At the one and only Mango Lord says, does anybody want 3 points? At Kali_I says, Streamlabs shut up. At Shedzooms says, me. At the one and only Mango Lord says, thank you Nightbot. At Iden Dash says, I couldn't do TS because I'll probably hit a wall, also I'm too bad to do it.
Crazy.
At Float727 says, what are those for? At Billy Jimmy Bobby says, me want points. At the one and only Mango Lord says, it still didn't work.
What didn't
At
work?
Jacob Dreer 5354 says, do I do BSR or do I just tell you the name of the song I want you to play? At
Just tell me the name.
Vigus1021 says, me want points. At Float727 says, what are points for? At Michelle Balance 7721 says, hyperclocked.
Okay, I'll do hyperclock.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, fun. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, hyperclocked. At Goofy Correlate says, eagle.
Dude, Kim Jong-un is not hyperclocked.
At
Why was it giving me
Float727 says, we begging for useless currencies now. At Shedzoom says,
Oh my gosh.
dang. At Bigus1021 says, running the show by Gooseworks. At its Skelvin Q8 says, yay I love Beat Saber, for that I'm subscribed. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, hyperclocked. At Kali_I says, Streamlabs shut the hell up. At its Skelvin Q8 says, how much point do I have? At Float727 says, what in the world? At its Skelvin Q8 says, this is crazy. At Vigus1021 says, are you even listening? At its Skelvin Q8 says, wait Verity. At Kali_I says, Verity. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, he locked me, that's why he's not listening. At Float727 says, why is there a guy attention seeking in chat? At Vigus1021 says, you running the show by Gooseworks.
But
At its Skelvin Q8I says, bro is the #1 Beat Saber pro. At Vigus1021 says, please. At Polly_I says, now cat. At the one and only Mango Lord says, somebody needs to keep track of the requests. At the Antica98 says, WTF did I join to?
Pete.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, stop. At Float727 says, there shouldn't be an excuse for a streamer to not be responding to every single message, let bro do what he wants. At its Skelvin Q8I says, where is the moderators?
Well, moderators. There's nothing to moderate.
7721 says, Pandemonium PLSSS. At XRAIM Games says, can you do Born Slippy by Hecatoncheers please? At
I need a pass.
Luster by Chameleon. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, Pandemonium PLSSS.
Dude, I missed the new VR headsets now.
727 says, that math was insane. At the Antica98 says, don't spam PLS. At Blood727 says, oh we're back, sick. At Radkakatalover5144 says, yo. At Blood727 says, working on incomplete visual input. At Vigus1021 says, dude, are you playing that thrice or just twice? At its Skelvin Q8I says, why is Verity everywhere loudly crying face? At the one and only
What is Verity?
Lord says, yes.
Check it out, y'all.
At Float727 says, reminds me of Bomb the Raid. At Radkakatalover5144 says, what in the Dragonland is this bro? At Vigus1021 says, it's just a smiling face, it's not Verity. At its Skelvin Q8I says, how do you not know what Verity is? At Michelle Balance
Dude, why do I keep failing that?
7721 says, did bro just say that? At the one and only Mango Lord says, what is Verity? At Float727 says, does this count as Neuropunk? I genuinely ain't sure what genre this is.
Sorry guys, I'm not cripply online.
At Skelvin Q8I says, he's a yellow ball man. At Vigus1021 says, Hyperlock seems like a fire sauce. At its Skelvin Q8I says, he talks. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, Pandemonium PLSSS. At XRAIM Games says, Verity is a ball guy that knows everything. At Lacasanka at its Skelvin Q8I says, yes.
We got this, guys.
At Float727 says, is this Verity thing you guys are talking about from some specific work of fiction? At Vigus1021 says, running the show by Gooseworks PLS. At the one and only Mango Lord Lord says, why does TTS only sometimes skip messages when Nightbot times someone out?
Dude, why are you... Oh my gosh. What do you not understand about TTS? I've told you this yesterday. It does not skip messages when Nightbot times people out.
At RadKakagaLova5144 says that the one and only Mango Lord is from a horror Minecraft video where the player AHS a companion is a smiley face that turns evil. Found out that the guy who made the VID also made a mod but it uses it. At Vigus1021 says, shut up. At the one and only Mango Lord says, it just did. At the one and only Mango Lord says, TDS skipped the message. At Float727 says, interesting. At the one and only Mango Lord says, TDS skipped a long message about The Simpsons. At LoloChoco41 says, hi,
I wonder why it skipped it. It's almost as if it was held for review.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, I tried to use skip to skip it, but it skipped someone else's message. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, Pandemonium PLSSS. At Float727 says, apparently a yellow smiley face equals Minecraft horror mod.
Alright, we'll do Pandemonium. Do 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 do.
At RadKakagaLova5144 says, thinking face.
Why wants my mirrors off? It's very rude.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, Nightbot skips some messages before I can see if it is held for review. At LoloChoco41 says at Float727 yes, it's veridic. At Stephanie Moronsoli 949 says, what mod do you use for custom sabers? At XRA Games says, after that can you do Born Slipping? At Float727 says, I feel like the smiley face is way older. At Vigus1021 says, run. At DinoVR242 says, hi. At Vigus1021 says, I mean, run. At Float727 says, like saying it's Steve the square guy from Smash Brothers. At the .real WA's ass says, I want to use your saber so bad but my resaber is completely broken.
Dang.
Michelle Balance 7721 says, Reasonably are so mighty for standalone quest.
Not really.
At Vigus1021 says, are you even listening? Running the show by Ghostworks for family's sake. At the one and only Mango Lord says, he's playing other songs right now. At Foot727 says, the chat troll avatars be like.
Is there seriously no FC on this map? Oh boy. I was not paying attention. There's no FC on this map. That's crazy. If someone got a full combo this.
At JC Navia says,
Hello.
At Vigas1021 says, that song request he did it instantly while me. It takes 8 hours. At Ottawa_81 says, hola. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, can you play online?
Not today.
At Float727 says, maybe because he knows that song already. At Float727 says, is there even a Goosewood song on Beat Saber?
I don't know.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, yes. At the one and only Mango Lord says, there's a song from every fandom in Beat Saber. At the one and only Mango Lord says, probably. At Vigas1021 says, maybe or not, I think it does.
I think.
At Float727 says, it's hard to predict whether a song exists on Beat Saber TBH.
No, I'm missing too much.
At Vigas1021 says,
Oh my
it
god.
does. At Float727 says, do you live with all these effects flashing into your optical nerve? I'd probably start feeling sick pretty quickly.
Don't worry, I cooked my eyes a long time ago. I feel nothing.
At Turtlesman says, can you do At the Speed of Light by Dim Rain 47?
Okay.
At Vigas1021 says, hey Vortex Wizard. Can you search for Running the Show by Gooseworks? Just to check.
After this.
If it does have, then play it. At XR Aim Games says, can you do Born Slippy please?
After this.
At Float727 says, Dottom Conditioning. At
It's not conditioning, it's called
FC
being
says,
blind.
Limbo in Beat Saber.
I am like super mega blind.
At Vigas1021 says, dude. Cricket?
Dude, what is going on?
At Flood727 says, conditioned into blindness on. At the one and only Mango Lord says, he wants you to play a song. At the one and only Mango Lord says, he's been asking for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes is not that long.
At Mr. Hunter MD says, do you play Wizard?
What?
At Gracie Paula 4197 says,
Why's my act so bad?
At Bigus1021 says, can you search for Gooseworks? Maybe you'll find running the show there. At Foot727 says, you can tell this is very serious for him.
What is serious? Why so serious? Do 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 do.
At Kagasi Grunty 3737 says, brothers cooking.
Do 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 do.
At Flood727 says, why so serious when you can be, Orion? At Bigus1021 says,
What's
red droopy eyes? At Not Nico
Oh boy, this part stinks.
I just beat Bloodbath, it's giving flashbacks.
Wow.
At Mr. Hunter MD says, bro is on full auto mode. At Bigus1021 says, running the fucking shit.
Auto?
At IVR
Like the one GD mode?
67 says, W. At Michelle Balance 7721 says, bye. At IVR 67
That's
says,
it.
bro beat Bloodbath. At Not Nico Patty Plays says, yeah I beat it on GD. At Turtlesman says, honestly. At Mr. Hunter MD says, do Rap God for $20.
Is this real?
At
I do Rap God.
Flood727 says, good ACC. At Turtlesman says, I'm verifying a level harder than BBRN LOL.
I do anything for money. Yo, don't take that out of context, please. Please, I'm not doing anything for money. Okay.
At XR Aim Games
I am
says, bruh. At Bigus10
$20 is not
says,
$20.
Are you like the opposite of Dora the
But I will
Explorer?
play Rap God for $20.
Instead of blind, you're deaf. At the one and only Mango Lord says, okay buddy. At Flood727 says, I don't remember if I requested 5 AM to you, in case I didn't you can play it. It's
Alright.
genuinely the only map I'm a proud author of.
Alright, I'll try
At
it.
Nico Patty Plays says, I beat Tidal Wave and Ashley Wave
Stop
trials.
clipping me.
At
Stop
Alien
clipping me.
1234T5C says, clip.
I'm not taking any chances.
You were just what the start.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. All my people from the front to the back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me rap. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes.
At Real Sen 01 says, hello,
hello.
hello.
Got a
Hello.
from that rap profit. Made a living and a
At
killing
Vigus
off it. Ever since Bill
1021
Clinton was
says,
still in office
if
with
he
Monica
loses the
Lewinsky
fast
filling
part,
on
he
his
has to
nutsack.
play
I'm an
running the
MC
show
still is
by
honest,
whose
but as rude
words?
and as indecent as all hell syllables. Killaholic.
Kill 'em all.
This libbity, gibbity, hibbity, hip hop. You don't really want to get into a piss and match with this rapidy rap pack and a mac in the back of the yak.
At the one and only Mango Lord says,
the exact
he
same time
won't.
I attempt these lyrical acrobats.
At
Don't
Look
fall back.
727 says, I reckon it's gonna pop up if you search 5am for it. At Mr. Hunter MD says, and I'll do 20 gifted if I can.
Attack rappers are having a rough time period. Here's a maxi pad. It's actually disastrously bad for the whack.
Oh, no tracking.
Constructing this masterpiece.
I'm beginning to feel like a
Rap gut, rap gut.
All my people from the front to the back, nod, back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box, slap box? Let me show you maintaining this shit ain't that hard, that hard. Everybody want the key and the secret to rap immortality like I have got. Will there be truth for the blueprint? Simply rage and youthful exuberance. Everybody loves the root for a nuisance. Hit the earth like an asteroid.
At Real Sen 01 says,
Okay.
how long how you been play Beat Saber?
Like 6 years.
Me, I'm a product of
Dude, are you kidding me?
Kim Sebastian Pakin, WAQ, hey Doc Ring, yellow easy, thank you. They got slim, inspired enough to one take, grow up, blow up, and be in a position to meet Run DMC and induct them into the motherfucking rockin' Roll Hall of Fame. Even though I walk in the church in
At
person,
Vigus 1021 says, probably 2 hours without playing running the show. At Real Sen 01 says, dang.
Bro really likes running the show.
27 says, the parody in this one makes me think the map is old enough to go to elementary.
This is like this is the oldest map ever, basically. This was made 2018, I think. It's also the most popular song, or one of the most popular songs.
I'm beginning to feel like a rap god, rap god. All my people from the front to the back, nod, back nod. The way I'm racing around the track, call me NASCAR.
At Water 7021 says, Flame Wall win. We need Flame Wall.
No Asgard, Asgard. So you be Thor, I'll be Odin. You rodent, I'm omnipotent. Let off, then I'm reloading. Immediately with these bombs I'm toting. And I should not be woken. I'm the walking dead, but I'm just a talking head, a zombie floating. But I got your mom deep
Dude,
throating.
what the heck?
I'm out my ramen noodle. We have nothing in common, poodle. I'm a Doberman. Pinch yourself in the arm and pay homage, pupil.
At Liar 3X says,
My honesty's
you.
brutal, but it's honestly
At
futile.
Flood
If I
727
utilize
says,
what I do, though,
well,
who could at least
today
want to?
I
So
learned.
wanna make sure somewhere in the
At
chicken
Liar
scratch house, come
3X
and doodle
says,
enough rhymes.
can I get
Maybe
stabbed
try to
for
help
the
get some
screen?
people through tough times.
At
But I
Liar
gotta keep a few
3X says,
punchlines just in
I
case,
have
'cause even the
experience.
unsigned rappers are hungry, looking at me
At
like it's
Vigus
lunchtime.
1021
Already back in like 2018, 2019.
You may like it.
Because if you have like sideways
And
notes,
don't forget, who's
you could
running
put them.
the show out.
Sideways notes have like not sideways notes. Outer lane notes have
At Real
have different
Sen
parody
01 says, Vortex
compared to-
can you play Flame Wall?
compared to up and down.
At the one and only
the middle.
Mango Lord says, just be patient, Vigus.
Oh yeah, I do sideways notes. Yeah, sideways notes have different parody.
At Liar 3X says, how do you? At Liar 3X
So you could just put them anywhere.
Get mod in the live stream. At Flood 727 says, Umfemo. At Mr. Hunter MD says, Sigma Sigma boy.
Man, oh man, that was a 24/7 special on the cable channel. So Ray J went straight to the radio station the very next day. Hey Fab, I'ma kill you. Lyrics coming at you with supersonic speed.
At Water 7021 says, Orbit mashup song. At Liar 3X says, answer me Vortex, how do I get mod in the screen? I've been watching for years.
I make elevating music, you make elevator music. Oh, he's too mainstream. Well, that's what they do when they get jealous, they confuse it. It's not hip hop.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, show up really often. At the one and only Mango Lord says, be trustworthy. At Flood 727 says, Kanshe Adepkin Sahoka Tensevat Eskoboy. At the one and only Mango Lord says, what?
But look at the accolades, these skills brung me.
At Liar 3X says, bro, I'm always here, I just don't chat that much.
Million leagues above me. Ill when I speak in tongues, but it's still tongue in cheek. Fuck you, I'm drunk, so Satan take the fucking wheel. I'm asleep in the front, so pumping heavy
At Liar
in the
3X
voice.
says,
Still chunky,
check the
but
subscriber I
but in my head
subscribed
there's
years
something
ago.
I can feel tugging
At
and
Vigus
struggling.
1021
Angels fight the
says,
devils and
geez,
here's
US.
what they want
want
from
from
me.
He's a pro.
They're asking me to eliminate some of the women hate, but if you take into consideration the bitter hatred I have, then
At
you
the
may
one
be a
and
little
only
patient and
Mango
more
Lord
sympathetic
says,
to the situation
yes.
and understand the discrimination. But fuck it. Like
Liar
hanging you women,
3X
make
says,
lemonade then.
me
But if I
better.
can't bear the women, how the fuck am I supposed to bake them a cake then? No mistake of the it's a fatal
Ouch, my
mistake.
back.
I think I need to be overseas and take a vacation to trip abroad and make a fall on a face and don't be a retard. Be a king.
Liar
Think
3X
not.
says,
Why be a
on the
king?
top and friends with Ducky Detsu.
Gabi. Bro's never gonna give me $20.
Liar 3X says, he changed his I think it's Nitro SMT now. Float 727 says, reminder on 5 AM float if you want. XR Aim Games says, Born Slippy please. Water 7021 says, do flame wall. The
do
one
have
and
this.
only Mango Lord says, oh yeah, is your back broken from yesterday?
I wonder.
Vigus 1021 says, done. Now running the show. Miles Peace says, flame wall is fire. Super Trash even very eager's notice says, hi.
Looky.
Float 727 says,
Need more
oh,
walls. Dude, walls are the best invention of these ever.
21 says, flame wall
telling
after
you.
this www.
You could do so many things with walls, and they make the map looks like really full.
Vigus 1021 says, running the show after this. Miles Peace says,
Okay, you have some
past
walls.
30 likes. Float 727 says, apologies for that curveball of a note LOL.
I think after the stream, I'm gonna finish my map. Oh boy.
Water 7021 says, Flame Wall is one of the best songs there are. Vigus 1021 says, if he gets 35 likes on the stream he plays running the show, alright?
I did not sign up for that. Yeah, that part's kind of vision blocky.
Water 7021 says, I wonder if anyone got Nullscape music into this game.
Wait, when was this uploaded? Oh, this is uploaded like,
Water
old.
7021 says, Flame
this
Wall
is
now.
new.
Water 7021 says, oh never mind.
Hold on, we got an FC first.
Vigus 1021 says, running the show now. Water 7021 says, sad face. XR Aim Games says Vigus stop talking about running the show all the time. The one and only Mango
Oh my
Lord
gosh.
says, Vigus, just be patient. The one and only Mango Lord says, he might play it if you wait a little bit.
Dude, did
Vigus
no.
1021 says, I swear it's Vortex's fault. He doesn't listen. Float 727 says, it's a bit rough round the edges, but I'm just happy to have posted a complete map.
Yeah.
XR Aim Games says Vigus please stop.
Dude, once you learn mapping though, like it will, like, the patterns will come to you easier. Like, you'll make really good patterns. Loki, I have no idea how my first map got curated. Dude, I'm gonna be honest, my first map is kind of dookie. Like, I only mapped it because Shorty's left hand died. I can't even find my map anymore. Okay.
At
Like, this is curate.
1021 says, "Hey Vortex, can you just please
This map is
check
kind
if
of
running the show is in Beat Saber?" At Flood727 says, "My mapping talent Loki deteriorated a bit by the time I posted the map and even more by today. My prime is all in the unreleased whips LMAO."
The whip folder, the cursed whip folder.
At Float727 says, "That's where I would make up for it with skill though." At the one and only Mango Lord says at Vigus1021 it is in Beat Saber. At the one and only Mango Lord says, "I checked for you." At Vigus1021 says, "So then he should play it?" At Float727 says, "Legit I have I think like 25 whips."
Loki, I think I keep saying Loki, and okay. I have like probably like 10. So I have one complete map that just doesn't have lights.
At XR Aim Games says, "Born Slippy."
And then I have like another map that's
says, "Would be even more if I didn't try to hold back from starting new ones." At the one and only Mango Lord says, "Locanuinly."
I think what I usually do is if I hear a song and then I have like a map idea on the spot, I'll just like quickly like put like put whatever ideas down in Core Mapper and then leave it, and then it's it's sent to the whip folder hell until I pick it up again. Dude, I cannot map anything past like 2 minutes. My attention span is just not good.
At Water7021 says, "I wonder if Find Your Flame or It Doesn't End Here or Won't You Hear My Symphony is in Beat Saber." At Float727 says, "Lights are my main roadblock because mapping them kind of PMO."
That's not it.
At XR Aim Games says, "Please Born Slippy."
Lights just start with like V1 lights, like first environment and stuff, and then work your way up. All you need to know is just like the basic like light here, light here, light here. No, hold on. The lasers, the ring lights and the ring rotation. You just place them down, and then you can change the laser speed. And then there's like transition events if you want like a fade in, fade out light.
At Catnap827 says, "Demon of the Deep please." At the one and only Mango Lord says, "Map making with Vortex Wizard." At Float727 says, "I have a half-finished whip of a Fnapmeme remix by Bishu which is less than a minute. Should be easy to make it real."
Yeah. If you can copy and paste wherever you can, just copy and paste. Like, low-key, nobody cares about lights. Nobody cares about lights. There's gonna be like 2 people playing with lights on. One of them is me. And I don't even pay attention to the lights. I wanna try Pandemonium again.
At Catnap827 says, "Demon of the Deep PLS." At the one and only Mango Lord says, "Bill Nye the Science Guy 1 hour." At Flood727 says, fair point LOL. At Vigus1021 says, play the map running the show PLS, it has in Beat Saber so you should play it PLS. At XRAIM Games says, sad face. At Flood727 says, I put some thought into the strokes in 5 AM and I don't know if anyone noticed really. At Catnap827 says, after this song can you play Demon of the Deep please?
Okay.
The one and only Mango Lord says at Vigus1021 just look up a video of someone playing it if you want to see it so bad. At Vigus1021 says, P.L.S.
It's a Demon of the Deep. This one? I'm guessing it's this one.
At Vigus1021 says, I want Vortex Wizard to do it. At Flood727 says, Vigus PLS grow up folded hands. At the one and only Mango Lord says, just look it up. At Flood727 says, respectfully. At Catnap827 says, yeah. At the one and only Mango Lord says, trust. At Water7021 says, bros getting straight up ignored and it's funny. At Flood727 says, I mean you have to learn to take a nut. At Flood727 says, even if it's being aired. At BR9 Sun says, can you play Electrodynamics by Mid please? At Catnap827 says, how do you get mods?
Must be for Friday.
At Not Rebound LOL
What is the song?
I'm sorry for saying E that one time. At Water721 says, Electrodynamics GG. At Not Rebound LOL says, LOL. At Flood727 says, Pirate Vibe makes me think of Temi Knight. At Flood727 says, is this sun up? At Evan Stubbings C7I says, can you do the master too? At Vigus1021 says, why do you think that? Because you hate me. I asked for running the show for 1 hour and I got ignored, then someone says something once. And Vortex Wizard does it. You still think that's funny? At Crab Gaming 0 says, I think I know where Creek Crab lies.
Where does he live? Actually, why am I asking this?
At the one and only Mango Lord says at Vigus1021, just look through Vortex's videos to see if there's a song you want him to play. At Catnap827 says, can you make a video on how to get mods without a PC after your live PLS?
There's already a bunch of videos out there.
Trust. At the one and only Mango Lord says at Catnap827,
Oh my gosh.
there are tutorials out there already.
There's like 5 million Beat Saber modding tutorials out there. Oh my god. Dude, I hate these notes that are just like randomly just put like just goes like up here, string up here, and then it's random sideways note. Like what are we doing?
You have to comprehend the fact that this is a human with preferences and thoughts, not your entertainment machine. At Bigus1021 says, I don't fucking think he played running the show once. At Catnap827 says, I struggle.
Why is this 1 second long? Oh my god.
Says, after
why
this
is this?
At Water7021
why is this 1,000 notes a second?
Please. At Crab Gaming
Could
0
we possibly be mad?
4208 Oak Ridge Lane. The reason I think this is because Creekcraft got doxxed by No Brain James. At BR9 Sun says, can you play Electrodynamics by Mid please?
After this.
At the one and only Mango Lord says at Bigus1021, just look through his last 20 videos. At the one and only Mango Lord says, trust me. At Water7021 says,
what is
trust
this?
The process. At Float727 says, TF.
Okay, there we go.
At BR9 Sun says, thank you. At Float727 says, do you know of the Bit Saga?
Nah.
At Float727 says, reminds me of that. At Water7021 says, everyone flashing warning. At Bigus1021 says, fun fact. That song he is playing is scary. At Crab Gaming 0 says,
wow.
Check the end of Creek's new live when you're done. He got fully doxxed. Also he's getting married. At Clean_Sailors says, jump scare warning.
Why are there so many bombs over here? Holy lag.
At Shadow Milk completely says, yeah. At Rad Kakakala 5144 says, surprised face.
Oh my god.
At the one and only Mango Lord says at Bigus1021, have you looked through his recent videos? At BR9
Hey, my frames are back.
says, yay.
Why am I so short? Wow. What? No way. This is unrankable. Oh my god.
At Float727 says, there are like 7
no
maps
way.
with bits on their cover images and they're like half a second long each with somewhere between 1 and 500 notes.
Wow.
At Water7021 says, 2 misses. At Bigus1021 says, I did and I don't think he did it. Also I checked both live streams and videos. At BR9 Sun says, can you play Electrodynamics by Mid please like you said. At the one and only Mango Lord says at Bigus1021, trust.
What the freak?
It's there.
It's gonna be Vibro.
At Bigus1021
oh my gosh.
says,
What is this rage
no
bait?
fucking way he listened to that.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I think I got it. Okay, I think I'm swinging too fast.
At BR9 Sun says, LOL. At Float727 says, LMFAO call. At Bigus1021 says, LOL.
I think I could do this. What
At
BPM is
Water
this?
7021
Yeah, this is
says,
like a weird
he's
BPM.
doing
It's like
too
a
good, it
5.
scares me.
It's like 508.
At Crab Gaming 0 says, can you please play 475F? I can't play it in Beat Saber. At the one and only Mango Lord says, interesting. At BR9 Sun says, what I think I forgot, some people are really good at stuff.
Okay.
At Vigas1021 says, he is good in everything from Beat Saber, and the things he is not good at is listening to me. At Flood727 says, vibros are such a bullshit genre of mapping.
Meanwhile, orchids. Yeah, guys, we can do orchids, right? Do I even have it downloaded? Which one is it?
At Mehmet.pro.35 Kral says, Orbit. At Float727
I have no idea
says,
which one it is.
why should bro listen to you though? At
Is it this one?
Mehmet.pro.35 Kral says,
Which one is it? I'll just double check. Who is this? Yeah, it's this one.
At Float
Guys, we could definitely do this, right?
Ozadki. At the one and only Mango Lord says at Vigas1021, look at Vortex's 17th most recent
I
video.
forgot this is not floor.
Pro.35 Kral says, no orbit.
Impossible. Yeah, I cannot do that. That's not in a million years. Jeez.
At Vigas1021 says, leave Strenex stream play running the show, actually leave stream. At Mehmet.pro.35 Kral says, bloodbath.
Oh no, right controller battery though.
At Water7021 says,
This is very wide.
GD off. At Crab Gaming 0 says, 475F.
Did I turn dot notes on? What is this? What am I looking at? I'm confused.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, I think Beat Saber is harder without arrows. At the one and only Mango Lord says, it just confuses me.
Alright.
At Float727 says, familiar
Burns
tune
the
but
beat.
completely unfamiliar song name. At XRAIM Games says,
What is this?
Orange Slippy please. At
It's
Crab Gaming 0 says,
680,000.
at the one and only
BPM.
Mango Lord says, I need to know where I'm supposed to swing. At Epic.2 says, yo, can you do freedom dive? At Crab Gaming 0 says, 475F.
Dude, what do you, I don't even know what is this. What are these?
At XRAIM Games says, it's not spam.
Dude, which one is it?
At
There's like two.
Bigas1021 says, ERM actually it's the 18th video. And also, that was a video not a live stream. He never did it live. At XRAIM Games says, wrong map. At Water7021 says, try like I don't know some Camellia song. At the one and only Mango Lord says, just watch it Bigas.
Dude,
At
why is there a
XRAIM
giant
Games
spike in the
says,
middle?
Top 1. At Float727 says, Freedom from arrows is cool and kind of
I was
intoxicating
not
cause
paying
you get
attention.
to be a delinquent and invent your own swings and patterns. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I don't like that. At Bigus1021 says, I already did watch it. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I'd rather have some weird complicated pattern than have to make my own pattern.
Maybe when I hit 5 million bombs.
At Bigus1021 says, it was just a bit because I already know the whole song. At Bigus1021 says, song asterisk. At the one and only Mango Lord says, okay.
Okay.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, this song is so fire. At Epic.2 says, we live bombs. At the one and only Mango Lord says, real. Stream chat reader disconnected.
Ah, dang it. We'll fix that later. I think I ran out of quota. Never mind, it'll just log me out. Why does it keep doing that?
Live voice initialized.
Me when I hit a whole bunch of bombs. Right.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, wowie. At Float727 says, this intro reminded me of Her by Valentine. I think that's the name of the song, which I kinda want to hear now. At Epic.2 says, I'm low-key here just to see Freedom Dice FRFR. At Karen Pierce 10
I want to play this version.
Can you play Meant to Be? At Epic.2 says, dive asterisk. At Bigus1021 says, so let me request another one. Oh I know. Digital Life by Gooseworks. At Water7021 says, is the censored on Beat Saber?
That's my axe so bad.
At Bigus1021 says, I just like TADC so much. At Epic.2 says, hell yeah fire. At Water7021 says, like censored by T plus Pazzo like I mean.
Maybe.
At Float727 says, have a good rest of the stream Vortex, basic biological needs are calling.
Alright,
Haven't
see ya.
had dinner yet and bedtime is soon. At the one and only Mango Lord says, did you just give up on BSR since 75% of people just ask in chat?
Dude, I give up on BSR because you want to see what type of requests people just put in here. This actual garbage.
At Karen Pierce 1078 says, can we play Meant to Be soon? At
Let's
Eric
see.
Dimas says, MM.
Okay, these ones
At
I request.
Water7021 says, this looks like
Yeah,
fun.
we'll skip those.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, hello Eric. At Eric Dimas says,
Alright.
hi.
Like, what is this? Oh, this, okay. Like, I don't really want to play all these. What is this? Like, I don't want to play that. I especially don't want to play that. I don't want to play this or What is this? I don't want to play challenge. What is this? I don't want to play this.
1021 says,
Like it's just gonna be all garbage.
Life by Gooseworks.
So I'm gonna turn this off.
Saber.
Yeah, there's a OP1 map. Okay, what are we?
At XRAIM Games says,
what are we putting in difficult?
At Eric Dumas says, what? At Water 7021
oh my gosh,
says,
my back.
W. At Kokich L2Y says, I made a stick.
Oh, what?
At Vigas 1021 says, alright at XSTUPI Games. At Karen Pierce 1078 says, can we PLS play meant to be soon? At Kokich L2Y says,
okay, I'm
a stick.
The...
At Water 7021 says, pixelation. Souls RNG. At the one and only Mango Lord says, Mark, I made a stick. At Kokich L2Y says, a stick? At Gaming Glitch says, you are good. At the one and only Mango Lord says, face orange biting nails. At the one and only Mango Lord says, I need to watch Invincible. At Jack Conver 1 says, dude. At Gaming Glitch says, how do you do it?
How do you do what?
At XRAIM Games says, can you try beating Born Slippy off screen? At
Maybe.
Karen Pierce 1078 says, I wish I wasn't so lazy to install mods. At Vigas 1021 says, thinking. Oh. Matrix, BL something something. At Gaming Glitch says, do you like turtles? At the one and only Mango Lord says, they don't taste very good. At Jack Conver 1 says, FOFOKTE the joke no TE I will pick the KTE for the modern nation states. At Vigas 1021 says, English please.
Ouch.
At Karen Pierce 1078 says, can you play the song Unhappy by S0 Row?
Unhappy? Dude, why is it all challenge?
At Water 7021 says, I forgot how good that song was. At the one and only Mango Lord says, what is this bilingual spam? At Luque Kevin Plays says, Beat Saber Expert plus PLS.
I guess I'll play this one because it has like one like and like an.
At Vigas 1021 says,
okay, we'll
can
just
you
do this
play
one.
the song Matrix? At Jack Conver 1 says, no que pina contigo caro tu sabes que soy mil. At Gaming Glitch says, see. At Karen Pierce 1078 says, yeah. At the one and only Mango Lord says, why are you milk?
What was that?
At JPDidery1Q says, hey man, here is a good challenging song, it's called Chopper. At Vigus1021 says, is the name of the person that made the song important though? At Karen Pierce 1078 says, bro it's easy. At Water7021 says, oh I know. At Jack Conver 1 says, 42 equals 5 loaf.
Dude, what is that part? That part stinks. Okay.
At JChall46 says, what's the name of this song?
I low-key kind of forgot. Unhappy, that's the name of the song.
At JTheater1Q says, play Chopper. At Vigus1021 says, fucking Matrix. At Water7021 says, play Layers if it is on Beat Saber soon if you can 3.
Layers.
At Harvey28 says, I am
Which one?
bad guys.
There's a bunch of layers.
At the one and only Mango Lord says, hi back guys.
It's like an onion.
At Water7021 says, the one by Tomboy/Korei. At Vigus1021 says, for real actually leave stream.
This one has more like.
At Harvey28 says, bruh.
Okay, this one's probably challenged.
At Stormshissing_pancake says, do forever by AJD.
Why is this 360?
PLZZZZZZZZZZZZZ. At JTheater1Q says, can you play Chopper next?
Why is this 360? Why is my jump distance
At
so
the
far?
one and only Mango Lord says, please
That's
don't
so weird.
spam letters. At Jack Conver 1
Alright,
says,
I'm gonna end stream here.
how
I'll
do
take
I
a break.
request songs? At the one and
Alright,
only Mango
bye-bye.
Lord says, just ask. At the one and only Mango Lord says, no BSR. At the one and only Mango Lord says, ask and hope. At the one and only Mango Lord says, bye. At Water7021 says, KB. At Stormshissing_pancake says, fun facts I say fun. At JTheater1Q says, do Chopper RQ. At Jack Conver 1 says, H. At XRAIM Games says, Bagin.